worth getting at this hour of the morning. Who are you people? How'd you get in my room? Dean Martin used to say. Well, you're the Weekend Warriors, and you came out for, of course, the right movie. How do we sum it up in one word? The word is Lubitsch.
Woo!
Yeah, here.
I had the great honor of talking to Billy Wilder on a couple of occasions, not extensively and not long conversations, but meaningful ones to me. And I was trying to pay him a compliment on Love in the Afternoon, and I said it was a Lubitsch film. He said, well, he says, you can be Lubitsch-like, but there's only one Lubitsch.
Wow.
And he felt that Lubitsch was the master, and many people agree. This film is interesting because it's from what most people would call the last phase or stage of his career. He had the films he made in Germany, his silent films once he came to Hollywood, those glorious early talkies at Paramount, and then he moved to MGM for a couple more great films, Ninotchka, The Shop Around the Corner, and then independent producers made the brilliant To Be or Not to Be. And then he was hired by Darryl Zanuck at 20th Century Fox. And Zanuck, who thought the world of Lubitsch, gave him pretty much carte blanche to do whatever he wanted. And so this is an original screenplay that the director himself wrote with his longtime collaborator and friend Samson Rafelson. Rafelson has a list of credits as varied and as long as any writer in Hollywood history. And from the jazz singer to to Suspicion, Hitchcock, and on and on and on. And even writers on Lubitsch films said, well, there's nothing without him. Even films that didn't bear his official screenplay by credit still essentially should have been credited to him. And that's not my saying so, that's the actual writers. And writers don't give up credit easily. They based it on a play. They found a Hungarian play that gave them a starting point. And I find that so interesting that he, and like his disciple Billy Wilder, always liked to have that kind of a starting point from which they could extrapolate and vary and go in different directions. Sometimes so much so that you wouldn't recognize the original. But it gave them a foundation to build on. And he was not thinking of casting Don Amici in the lead. He had other actors in mind. But Mr. Zanuck asked if he would please at least do a screen test with Amici. And the story that Scott Eyman tells in his wonderful book on Ernst Lubitsch is that the director looked at the brushes of the screen test with Walter Reich, his longtime comrade, and said, Walter, what am I going to do? He's good. So he was not only obliged to cast, but he was happy to cast Don Amici in the lead. And they got on famously. And of course, it's in glorious Technicolor, but he was praised even at that time for his somewhat muted use of Technicolor. It was not garish, and as many Fox movies of the 40s were, proudly garish. It was the studio of Carmen Miranda, after all. And, but here, it's a more subdued palette, and everything just fits into place in this movie. It's adult, it's intelligent, it's witty, it's a film that dares to go dark at times, and some of its tone and its undertone about the sort of the underside of an American success story that Betty and his family represent. So there's satire in it, very pointed social satire. And it was a hit. It was not just success d'estime, as they say, the critics fawned over. Everybody liked it. And so how could you do better? This is as good as it gets. I don't know what young film students of today or young audiences today, unaccustomed to this kind of witty and intelligent writing and performing, would make of this if they're not conditioned to it. I mean, you can acquire the means to appreciate films like this, which is why TCM is so important in our culture. But how you come to it is a question I can't answer right now. All I can say is, if you set your sights high or high enough and aspire to do something like this, you're going in the right direction. And you all showing up here early Sunday morning for this shows that you've come to the right place at the right time. Thank you so much for hearing me out, and have a good time with Heaven Can Wait.